So, on the eve of PlayStation increasing their prices, a leak comes out that shows Valve is edging to release their console. At least that's what this is showing. The Fremont. They're also working on the Decade, which is a new VR that's basically a Steam Deck strapped to your face. But this is pretty much on par with what the PS5 currently is. So in terms of a pricing point, I suspect it will be somewhere around 500-600. But as you know, this is going to be running on Steam OS. Steam OS has issues with easy anti-cheat, which basically means that not every game will work. Now, Valve has been working very hard in the background to try and find a solution for this because they don't want to give access to their kernel 0. And there has been workarounds for it, and developers and publishers just need to implement that change into their game, and that will kind of circumvent and allow access through a different path, or just ignore anti-cheat entirely so you don't get banned when you play. But this is what they're actually talking about right now, because they're all in shambles after the price increase. You've got D-Batch over here. Xbox will have Steam integration. It will. Valve said not so fast. Hold my beer. But this machine can't run Game Pass. It can't run a lot of stuff. It's only Steam OS. Now, obviously, you'll have access to Proton, and I assume, everyone assumes, you'll have access to the desktop. But this is a completely different machine in regards to what Microsoft is doing, which is basically going to have all the backwards compatibility for your Xbox titles, as well as play your Steam games and play your Epic games and play everything else. This is just going to be Steam OS. It is not going to allow you to have your Epic launcher on there or everything else and have all those games collated in one place. So, is this really going to sell? They failed the first time. Now, clearly they want to be everywhere, but I don't know how much of a problem or really a threat this is to what Microsoft is doing. I just think Valve is just pushing this out there as another choice. But I think people will soon come around to the fact that it is going to be limiting. Unless you know how to do stuff with Proton, and then you have to go in and, you know, get those packages and then go into, you know, the desktop kernel and start going through sudo and all that stuff to actually get it all installed. You know, it's not as easy, and it probably won't be designed that way either. But hey, what do I know? We haven't seen a console yet, so fingers crossed it's going to be as easy as pie. But I just don't see this being that big of a threat to anyone else. But one thing is for sure, my guy is cheering on a console that basically makes his console, preferred choice, 100% third party. Because if he's calling this a console and all PlayStation ports are going to work on there, then it's a that's it. It's done, right? It's done. Anyway, we get to the main story of the event, of course, and that is this PlayStation blog over here. The updated recommended retail price for PlayStation 5 consoles in the US are as follows. PlayStation 5 is $549. PlayStation 5 Digital is $500. And the PS5 Pro without the drive, the disc drive, is $749. Now, with the disc drive, depending on the price increase, because it's $100, and obviously everything is going to get a markup increase, you're looking at $850 to $900. Now, obviously, Nibs over here is going to do a comparison. Interestingly, they're still $50 cheaper than the Series X equivalents. And so I asked him, why is it that you're comparing the PS5 Pro to the 2TB Galaxy Edition, the special edition of Xbox? And so his response was, well, you get 2 terabytes of storage. So 2 terabytes and 2 terabytes. So why doesn't he actually add the drive? You know, Xbox comes with a drive. So why doesn't he add the drive? He's gung-ho to immediately add the 2 terabyte version to make the drives the same. But why doesn't he actually add the drive to make it comparable? Because he's full of shit. That's basically it. You know, you can clearly see from this, and this is clear proof, that all he's doing is taking the information, muddling it in a way to regurgitate to his fans for the likes. I mean, there is no reason why he would actively deceive people, and he is being very deceitful here in not including the drive when he's bringing the Series X 2TB like for like, because it's not like for like. The Series X 2TB has a drive, so why doesn't he add the PS5 Pro? It's crazy, right? It's crazy when you expose these frauds, because that's what he is. He's a fraud. This is clearly Indy showing you how much of a fraud he is. But as we were saying, the PS5 Pro now is $750, $850 to $900 if you're including the actual drive, compared to the $550 Series X or the $600 console. It's basically getting, you know, a $250 increase to $300 over the Series X. And then they're saying, well, it's more powerful. Well, of course it should be. But it's crazy that Sony is finally getting that price increase. Of course, instead of actually rallying around and saying, what the hell? Why is this happening? No. For weeks now, months, they've been saying that the Xbox Ally X is not an Xbox. It's a PC. So what Oliver Darko over here, who's gone and said, gives us a £900 branded handheld? Well, no, he hasn't. You guys have all along said, and I've said this to him, and he hasn't replied because he can't reply, that this is not an Xbox. On top of that, you called it a PC. Phil Spencer here is talking about his console. So what has this actually got to do with it? In fact, they went as far as saying that Asus is the one that's dictating the price. Microsoft had nothing to do with that handheld outside of designing the shell and an X button, which means nothing, right? That's their words, not anyone else's. But now they want to compare this. I mean, the hypocrisy here is real, folks. It's real. It gets better. I told you ROG LAX would be expensive. Every single person said it's going to be expensive. No one said this was going to be 500. Now, in the UK, I'm hoping it will be around 750, and that's actually quite possible. We don't have the UK pricing. In fact, even the 900 and the 549 pricing is a leaked price from Bilibili, so we don't actually know. Although there is some links here, and I'll check that out. I'll check that out now. See where it goes. Let's go to the United States, because Canadian prices are way crazier. Is there actually a price? Oh no, there's not actually a price available. You know, I should have known. I should have known, folks. I should have known. So there's not actually a price. These are the leaked prices that came about, which, you know, Xtas not one actually revealed not that long ago. I think he put this down as $599.99, and this one $899. So he was pretty on point with the leaks, but we'll find out sooner or later whether this is actually going to be the actual prices, especially in the UK, because they just haven't been announced yet. But it's interesting how he immediately jumps onto this. Is more than $700 for the PS5 Pro. Well, number one, the PS5 Pro now is $750, so it's $150 in difference. This one allows you to go on the go. Now, if you want to go on the go with your PS5, you can either buy a generator, which is going to cost you a bit of money, or you can get the portal, which is $200. So we go from $750 minimum without the drive, right? Because I'm going to keep it digital because this is digital. Plus the $200, you're talking $950. And you can't natively install anything on there. You have to always have an online connection. You can't go into any dead spots to play offline. You need full internet all the time. How can you even, like, post this and think that you've got a gotcha moment? There is no shot that you can actually do this and think you are smarter than everyone else, when this just makes you look even dumber than people actually think you are. Like, there is no shot that this is even remotely what you're thinking here. Will Xbox guys buy this? Some will, some won't. I'm waiting for the UK price. I reckon $750, and I'll probably bite the bullet. Anything more than that, and I probably will wait for a discount of some sort. It's not on Game Pass. What? I mean, you can already see. I swear. I said it in my stream, and I'll say it here again. Microsoft did something to D-Batch's family. It has to. This amount of hatred towards Microsoft can't just be for show. Microsoft must have done something. Then you've got this one over here. A Portal is $200 and it actually plays your PlayStation games. And no, it doesn't. It actually streams your PlayStation games. You lose online connection and you have a paperweight. There is a difference between a physical device that can actually play games offline and what the Portal is. I have a Portal, and if I don't have good internet, or if I have bad internet, or if I'm in a no coverage zone, it's a paperweight. How are these people actually turning around and telling you that these games, this plays all your PlayStation games as if they're playing them natively? It's crazy. But one thing is correct, though. One thing is correct. You don't actually need a PlayStation 5 to play PlayStation 5 games. The Portal can stream it for you if you sign up to PlayStation Premium Plus. So you've always got that. It's a selection of games, but there is no console needed. And obviously you've got other people here trying, you've got Tommy over here. Glad you said it. Here they come. I mean, this is the dumbest thing I've seen in a while. I still don't understand why people think that the PlayStation Portal can run games natively. And all they're doing is deceiving people. You've got Jay Barry here as well. $1,000 for the full experience. What? Who is this scam for? And I'm like, all right, let's look at this. Let's look at this for someone like me. LIX, $900. Right? The 100-watt charger dock is just a normal charging dock. You don't have to pay 100. I've got one sitting right here that I got for 30 quid. I use it to power my laptop. Everything else, it will charge my thing. So that's already out the window. A case, if you want one, you don't have to buy the official one. You can buy a third-party one. So where is this pricing point coming from? Like, are they just... they are trying so hard to get that gotcha win. And don't forget, right? This is the best part about this whole mental gymnastics and whole stupidity that these people are undergoing. They've said for the longest time that this isn't an Xbox. They've been crying from the rooftops that this isn't an Xbox. What they've been saying is that this is a PC. And now they are trying to use this as a gotcha moment to say it's an Xbox. Are they always this deluded? Are they always this deceitful? I mean, I already proved at the beginning of the video how deceitful and manipulative Nibs actually is when he's openly lying to everyone's faces, and I proved that. But this is also just so deceitful when there are just so many options out there. Anyone could have one of these charging docks at home. Most people will have them. You don't need to buy it. That's why it doesn't come with the hardware. It's crazy. But I'm going to end the video with this. Tom Warren is going to show you just how easy it is to get into the Windows Lite version. I assume if you want to actually get into the full fat Windows, there'll be another way where the system completely reboots. This is the new UI for the handheld, which looks really snazzy. But as we can see here, much like the Steam Deck, you go into the options, you click on OK, and it just instantly goes into the Lite version. No rebooting needed, no nothing. Pretty sweet if you ask me. But hey, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I think they've actually lost it with this price increase. The PS5 Pro now with a disk drive is anywhere between $850 and $900. But you don't see the Nibs or anyone else parading that. They're trying to sugarcoat that and hide that under the cushions, and they say, "Hey, but look, it's very comparable to the special edition 2 terabyte Xbox." It's weird, right? The way they have to lie. I mean, the need to lie is crazy. And then he's the one that calls everyone Zionists and all this, when he's just I don't even know anymore. Anyway, folks, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. PlayStation have finally increased their price. They've run out of stock in the US. Oh, and there's one more thing I'll add to this. Did you know that PlayStation fans believe, right, that the only country in the world to sell PlayStation 5s or a 5 Pro is America. I shit you not. Having a debate today with someone on X, and they pretty much said, look, the US stock is over. Yeah, they didn't sell many consoles, did they? Like, the rest of the world doesn't matter. You know, the UK, Europe, East, West side, anywhere. Only America. Only America. They only believe that the PS5 is sold in America. I swear to God, these people are a special breed. These fans, special breed. But let me know what you think in the comment section below, folks. Let's have that discussion, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.